You know that feeling at the beginning of the month where you think to yourself, I'm going to start working out, I'm going to go on a diet, I'm going to get all my habits done, I'm going to get so much stuff done this month. And then the month kind of just happens and let's say you just didn't do any of those things. Well, I've got a solution for that. Hi everyone and welcome back to Plan for Productivity. For those of you who are new, my name is Andrea and today I want to share with you the monthly planning process that allowed me to basically get closer to my goals, get stuff done, and more importantly, gave me the feeling that I've got my shit together. This is what you need to get rid of that feeling of hustling and chasing life and just letting life happen to you. This is what you need to get ahead. This is what you need to do to stay on top of everything. This is what you need in order to make sure that you are going exactly where you want to go and that life isn't just running all over you. Or at least that's what I do and it works for me. Keep in mind that the goal for this planning session is to have a clear action plan for the upcoming month and to have some form of accountability for this plan. So I want to get into the details and explain to you what it is that I do, what I think is essential for you to do during this session, and how we can get our lives together with this 5-step process. So without further ado, grab your cup of coffee and let's get started. So what do I plan for each month? And this is gonna go in order. So first I plan any of my commitments and things that I have due for that month. Then I go into my goals, and then I do like an action plan, and then I focus on my projects or work stuff, and finally I do a little bit of extra planning for those little details that might mess up my month. Now this process is obviously gonna look a little bit different for everyone, and it's really gonna depend on the things that you wanna focus on and the things that create the most chaos in your months so that you can make sure to tackle that and make sure to have a productive, organized month. Before I do my entire monthly planning session though, I do a monthly reflection, and I'll make a completely separate video for this, so stay tuned for that. But it's just basically a little moment to reflect on the previous month, and that kind of gives me a very clear idea of what I want to be focusing on the month that's coming up. So the first thing I plan for is my commitments, or at least that's what I call them. It's basically all those things that are due that month or that you said you were going to do that month. So maybe you made an appointment to go to dinner with a friend and you have a big test coming up, or you have a project that you have to turn in. All of these things that are already predisposed in your plans. There's things that people are expecting you to get done and that you already decided you were going to do. So the first thing you gotta do in order to not feel kind of like lost and just like racing through the month is make sure to figure out what the things you actually need to do are. And that's why I just make it up in my little calendar and I just write down the things that I know are going to be bugging the back of my mind, reminding me that I have to make sure to stand by those and to actually get them done. And it's important to do this first because this might determine what your goals for the month might be. So for example, if I am in my finals month at school and most of the things that I have to get done are studying for those finals, probably my goals for the month are gonna surround my exams and I don't know, maybe being able to stay healthy during that time or something like that. So it's really gonna change how the rest of your planning goes, so it's important to do it first. And that's usually quick. It should already be in your calendar, and once you get that out of the way, we can move into the fun part, which is planning for our goals. So for me, this is mostly my personal goals, or kind of like what you would call the side hustle kind of stuff. Like I plan goals in terms of my health and my habits and things that I'm trying to improve for myself, or things for plan for productivity and stuff like that. A lot of people might include their work in these goals, and that's totally fine. It's up to you the way you want to look at it. I just prefer to do it this way. So I decide what these goals are based on the goals that I set for myself at the beginning of the year and the reflection that I just did. So I'm kind of like looking through to see what it is that I want out of the next month. To give you an example, I might reflect that I've been feeling super tired and sleeping completely out of schedule and that it's making me feel uncomfortable. So a goal this month might be to get back on a sleeping schedule. Or I might say that I haven't been working out enough and that's something that I really want to focus on. So my goal might be to work out 3 times a week. Whatever it is, just make sure that you are deciding what it is that you're going to be focusing on this month and what things you actually want to achieve by the end of the month. You can limit this number to however much you like. It can be 1 goal, it can be 5 goals, it can be 10 goals, whatever it is you want. I suggest you don't go with over 5 because I think that's a lot to work on during 1 month, and usually I try to focus on only building certain kind of like self-development goals at a time. After that, the most important part of this whole planning session comes in. If you don't want to feel lost throughout the month and you don't want to be searching for what it is that you need to do, you need an action plan. Listing your goals is just going to take you 10% of the way. The other 90% is having an action for each one of those goals you set. Deciding how you're going to get them done, most importantly, when you're going to get them done. So this is what I call my action plan. It's usually composed of the bullet journal, famous, habit trackers, and stuff like that, because the idea is to define what it is you're going to do on a regular basis to achieve each one of those goals. So this ends up being either a habit or a routine. So for example, with the working out goal, I could be like, I want to work out 5 times a week, and that just becomes a routine. Or I want to read more, so I'm going to create a habit of reading every night before bed. So the idea is to basically just decide what it is you're going to do on a daily or weekly basis in order to make sure that you achieve that goal towards the end. And bonus tip, obviously create some form of accountability for this. So I like to create like a habit tracker, or if I'm doing workouts, like an activity tracker. And if you've seen any of my bullet journal setup videos, you'll see that I love creating those because they really do help me stay accountable. But for you, it might be different. For you, you might just need to look at your goals every morning, or to have a habit tracker on your phone, or you might need to plan to do this with a friend. The idea is that you set up a system in place that you'll keep coming back to in order to make sure that you are getting these things done and that you're staying on top of them. That's kind of like the main point. So for me, I go into my habit tracker almost every day, so therefore I know that will motivate me to keep doing these habits and to make sure that I am achieving those goals. So now that you've planned for all of these things, and this is the most fun part where you get to actually do whatever it is you want, it comes planning in for the responsibilities or the things that you're actually working towards that might feel more like work. So this can be your actual work or school. For example, it could be medicine for me, or it could be any other personal project. So when it comes to this, to give you my example, I focus on plan for productivity and creating content for YouTube. So I'll do all of the planning regarding this part of my life. And that obviously entails a lot more details than I could give to you in one video, but the main idea is to basically decide what are the things you want to achieve throughout the month. So for example, content creation, 1 video per week, and this is the most important part, when you will get that done. It's not enough to say I'm going to read 3 chapters of my medical textbook every week. You have to say when you're going to read them. I'm going to do it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday every single week. That's what you need to be able to see on your calendar. Don't worry about making all of the details. Don't worry about creating a super hyper time calendar blocked page. That's not important. What matters is to have a general outline that tells you what it is you need to be doing every week. Your goal is to be able to look at your plans on Sunday and know exactly what it is you need to do for the upcoming week and when you're going to be getting that done. That's how you make sure that you stay on top of things throughout the entire month. That's how you make sure that you're achieving your goals, because on a regular basis, you know what it is that you need to do. And hopefully, the more you learn to plan, the less you'll overcrowd your schedule. And you'll understand what it is that you can do every single week, and you'll know how much to add into your plans. And finally, the last thing that I plan for, or that you should plan for, is whatever you need. There's always that little thing in your life that is a routine part of your life that is just messing up your month. It could be the meal situation in your house and how much you have to cook for everyone and all that stuff, or it could be your finances, or it could be your workouts and how messy they are and how hard it is, or it could be, you know, who's gonna drive the kids to school every day, because that always ends up being a mess and a fight. Anything that you think needs a little bit of organization in your life and that you can basically routinize, is that a word? I don't know, look it up. I think that's a word. If anything that you can just create into a little routine or to make sure that you have it a bit more handled, that's what you should plan for last. And you don't have to do all of those, and it's gonna change every month probably. For me, the thing that I plan for that I think I need a lot of planning for me is my finances, and I do that every single month to make sure that I'm on top of that. But for other people, like I said, it could be anything that you need, or it could even be multiple things for one month and nothing for the other, and that's totally fine. The idea is that after you're done with like the chunk of your life and the things that you need to get done in terms of like work, money, and projects, you take a little bit of time to figure out more those routine parts of your life, the day-to-day basis that are creating chaos in your months and in your lives, and try to figure something to kind of tie it up together. I don't know, I hope that makes sense. And that's it. These 5 things, I know that it sounds like a lot of work now that I'm explaining it to you, but trust me, it takes nothing. It takes me like half an hour to do it once a month. Once a month, that is once every never. It's so little compared to so much that you're gonna gain from actually having this little ritual of just sitting down with a cup of coffee, a candle, cozy PJs, and either your bullet journal, your computer, both of them, and just figuring out what your life is going to look like for the upcoming month. That is it for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I would love to have you guys back here. Let me know if you want to see more of this content. If you like this video, you could check out my bullet journal setups, and you can see how I actually transfer this into my bullet journal if that's the way that you plan. I would love for you guys to do that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!